Barak, Yahweh, Alam, Shalom, righteous family. Welcome back to True Talk.
He's a goofy.
I'm sorry, Pierce, but to get up there and perform the whole show in Spanish is a middle finger to the rest of America. Who gives a damn that we have 40 million Spanish speakers in the United States? We have 310 million who don't speak a lick of Spanish. This is supposed to be a unifying event for the country, not for the Latinos, not for one small group, but for the country. We don't need a black national anthem. We don't need a Spanish speaking country. We don't need a black national anthem. We don't need a Spanish-speaking, non-English performer, and we don't need an ICE or America hater featured as our primetime entertainment.
Okay, what is the national language, officially, the national language of the United States of America?
I mean, English. And there's been a push for many years to make it an official
you don't have one.
document.
You don't have one.
If you would have let me finish my comment, I would have pointed that out, but people have been pushing to make it official. I'm sorry, Pierce.
Okay,
right,
so
now
you're trying official.
This attitude that you have is why you in Great Britain have lost your culture. You ceded your culture to a bunch of radical Muslims who came in and took over, and now it's gone. We're not allowing that here. Whether it's Hispanic, whether it's Muslim, it's not happening in the United States of America. That's why President Trump was elected. And whether it's bad happening in the United States of America, that's why President Trump was elected. And whether it's Bad Bunny, who is American but refuses to speak English in his performances, or anybody else, we have to keep the Super Bowl, which is a quintessential American event. Football, that kind of football, is ours. They call it American football. And the halftime show and everything around it needs to stay quintessentially American. Not Spanish, not Muslim, not anything other than good old-fashioned American apple pie. There should be a meatloaf, maybe some fried chicken, and an English-speaking performer. That's what the Super Bowl should be.
Funny you have so much passion and you're so upset about this man performing in Spanish, but you was the same hoe sitting up here excusing the Epstein files, talking about they weren't really children. He's not really a pedophile. They were just, kind of young, 14, 15. She did not have none of this energy for the Epstein situation. That's why they were calling her Megan R. Kelly. Imagine being this upset because somebody's performing in Spanish, but you have no energy for young girls who are being trafficked. Shut your dumb ass up.
Was from Miss Lovely T channel. Y'all go check her out. She keep it real. I like her. I don't agree with everything she say. We don't supposed to agree with everything, but just because we have different opinions on some things that don't agree with everything, don't mean that somebody don't. You can't listen to their opinion and they don't have good reason and outtake for their belief or why they believe or see things the way that they do. So just had to give her a shout out since I used her clip. But this is crazy, man. This is what y'all mad about. Are we serious? All that's going in the world, this is what y'all mad about. Somebody performing in Spanish. This is, sometimes if I make it to the kingdom, the most I will. And I don't even like to say ill because I don't even like to think that I won't make it, but I will not put myself on a pedestal and say that I will make it. We all gotta do it to the end, and I gotta always examine myself and make sure that I'm able to be somebody that the Father will let me into His kingdom. But nevertheless, sometimes I wish that we can, as the Hebrew brother that got beat by the police, can't we all just get along? Now, I got this particular picture up here with the American flag and blood for a reason. Cause I just wanna let's just talk. I just wanna ask some questions. This North America, this landmass that we call North America, is this white land or is this America? See, the America that I know a lot of people have different perspectives, but I was taught that this was a melting pot, that there was more diversity in America than anywhere in the world. This is what they taught me in middle school, that America is a great country where anybody that got different nationalities, different language. That's why there's no official language for America. And they said that America, especially New York, was the melting pot, and anybody can come over here and live their dream and make it. And then I kept living, and reality happened, and I learned life. I learned history, present, and you know the now, what's continuing to happen. But when the so-called Christopher Columbus, or whoever they want to paint the picture and say discover America, and I even hate saying that because you can't discover something that was already here, that had already people on it, that was already being traced, and people was going back and forth, and they already, this is documented history. Before Columbus came, Africa and even China was documented, coming back and forth over here and doing trades with the people that was living here, and those people was copper colored, and yes, we had some pale faced Indians over here, not some, a lot of them. It was, I think they said over 3,000 tribes of Indians over here, like up in the thousands, and they was diverse. You had your so-called black, uh, Native Americans and your what we call red Indians. That's who occupied this land. And guess what? The so-called black Indians, they got murdered and shipped to South America, to Jamaica, to the diaspora, even to Africa, to the UK. They got shipped out of here. Some got mixed in with the other blacks that came from Africa on the slave trade, which they was African. They those Indians that was already over here, they traveled from Africa over here, so they was over here before Columbus. But nevertheless, some of them mixed in with the slaves that was already here, and but nevertheless, they wiped out damn near all the red Indians, or what we say the pale face Indians. But nevertheless, the Indians were still here. They were still on their land. There's so-called Native Americans, red pale face Native Americans, that's descendants of those people. They're still alive. They got uh, casinos. They made a deal with the government. I'm not in their business, but you know, they got some type of reparation, uh, casinos and so forth. And sadly, a lot of them is breathing their own self out because they not mixing back with their own kind. But nevertheless, the Indians that was here before any white man stepped on this land are still here. And then they stole a whole group of my people from Africa by force, brought them over here and forced them to labor, free labor, and built up this country off me and my ancestors back, made this country wealthy. And then during that period of time, many whites that wasn't from him, that was from British, from the UK, from Paris, from Europe, all over Europe, stopped migrating to America. They wasn't from here. They wasn't born over here. They started migrating to America, all due to the civil rights movement and me and my ancestors, our people, because I do consider myself my ancestors. I am my ancestor. We fought for the freedom for everybody to come over here. And that made America even more great because now you had a country where there's different foods, there's different culture, everybody bringing their culture over here, everybody bringing their skill over here, building up America. But we know it was this cash system where the lighter you was, the more benefits, the more privilege, the more success, the more this society, this government will be easy on you, and even the citizens in the society of this world will treat you different, give you the benefit of the doubt, get lighter sentences, and it goes on and on. So there's always been a racist system, where your caste system, where mainly my people was always at the bottom, as it's written in Deuteronomy 28 and other verses that we'll become the tail because of our disobedience to the Heavenly Father. So we became the tail, and we became slaves, and we became dependent and had nothing on our own, and we became mistreated, abused, and used. And from music, like we talk about America, country music, black man, the blues, rock and roll, black man, like. So when we talk about America, America, the idea of America is a melting pot, a place where there's different language, different culture, different food. Like you said, there's 3 million Spanish speaker over here. She said it herself. So if this is the America that I was told, America, the melting pot, America where people come over here have dreams, and not only blacks and brown people, but white people from other countries come over here. And let's not forget how Trump was mad because of the Africans in South Africa wanted to take their land back from the white oppressors that came and stole their land and nearly had 90% possession of the land over there. And the president and the government was like, no, our people, and these white people are the majority over there in Africa, then went over there, colonized these people and stole their land. And Trump was acting like, making like Africa was genociding these folks because they was taking their land back from what was stolen from them. And these are the same people that's outraged over just a halftime show. When I grew up, there was a lot of halftime shows I watched where they had white rocking band. Now I love all type of music, but rock and roll and certain music just ain't my style. I don't like certain raps either. And guess what I did? I just didn't watch it. I didn't get mad. I didn't say, oh, these people, they don't consider me and all this. No. Guess what? I waited till, like Kendrick Lamar, when he had a halftime show. They had a halftime show when they had uh, Prince and who was there? It was some people that I loved that I wanted to see. Uh, Before that, they had what, 50 Cent, all the West Coast rappers out there. And yes, you had a whole bunch of racist comments and people outraged about that. But we as black people, we didn't say nothing when white people was performing at the Super Bowl because we understand it's for everybody. Let everybody get their turn. Now, this Bunny dude speak. I don't speak Spanish. I don't listen to his music. I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I didn't watch the halftime show. But I'm not gonna be mad and blow up. And act like, oh, we got it because he's sung in Spanish. For those 3,000 Americans that speak in Spanish, that was for them. For us black people that listen to Kendrick Lamar and rap music, that was for us, and even the white people also. And for the white people that like rock and roll and country or whatever, when Kid Rock and all those other white people performed at the Super Bowl, that was for them. That's is what America. She just said that America is that the Super Bowl is supposed to be for America, Americans. And guess what? Americans don't just speak one language. America don't just have one culture. America don't just, excuse me. So it amazed me what some people would be outraged about. Even my own people, I get on my own people more than anybody in a loving way. I don't try to tear us down, but when they do some BS, I call it out. But for the people that's outraged about this, it's like you ain't got nothing better else to be mad about. Like the files that came out with these people eating babies and molesting little children. Nah, that don't bother you. Oh, okay. But some dude singing Spanish song in the Super Bowl, that's where you gonna die. That's where it gotta stop. So I just wanna ask a question. Because this country never been, like I said, we got the people that was on here first was the Mexicans, the Indians, and they descendants still here. Then the white people came and brought black people here, and our ancestors been here over 400, 500 plus years. And then other white people from different country and you know migrated here, and other people from other places migrated here. What is this place? Is this white land only, or is this America? I gotta ask. Is this white land, or is this America? If y'all want America to just be white land, just say it. Just say it. Just give us everything that everybody brought on your back. Don't you know the food, everything, the culture. Then yes, be white. And I hate the saying when they say, you know, when I grew up, they always say, go back to Africa, go back to your country. It's like, first of all, you brought us over here. If you want us to go back, take us back and give us, I do. But if anybody got a country they can go back to, like, even they stole us and they kept weapons that they stole us from Africa, and for the, and they know we Hebrews, and they stole the tribe of Judah, and there's evidence of that. But they make like they don't know where they took us from. And now they done been in Africa. They done made Africa with so many borders. They done chopped it up so much and changed the name of so many places. Not the Africans, but the Spanish, the Europe, France, all of them. They got army bases and they foothold in Africa and basically dominating over there. Force people to speak English. Force people to adopt the American culture and way. If they don't, they put sanctions on these people. Say these people culture and way is wrong, and then want to be outraged. They can do that to Africa and other countries and make them speak English and and all that. And you ever see America go to other countries and they act like these countries are supposed to speak English? They're like, why don't y'all speak English? You in another country. They're not supposed to speak your language. The entitlement. But the truth is, when you do go a lot of places outside America that don't speak English, I mean, a lot of countries do speak English. They have their own native land and they also speak English because they want to accommodate America because, you know, America is the most powerful country in rulership. And when they get American people, they want American people to feel comfortable. They want to be able to understand them. So a lot of language, unlike us, are very educated in language and they speak two or three languages. They speak their native tongue language, their country language, and they also speak English. And we don't mind them being diverse and speaking English. We don't care that English is not their language. We just glad that they can accommodate us. So we want them to be diverse for us, but we don't want to be diverse for nobody else. I don't want to say we because I don't consider myself American. I consider myself a God fearing man that's waiting on the kingdom. I don't belong to no country. Uh, but nevertheless, this idea that this country is white land and everybody should speak white and everything should be do right. It's not based on America history. America was built off immigrants. And like I was saying, if white people really want a country that's just all white, then why don't they go back to Europe? And why don't they stop invading other countries and taking from them and stealing from them? And just go on your own land and let your armies and stuff stay there. And if anybody come and fight y'all, yeah, y'all got every right to have y'all army and fight back and defend yourself. But don't come and bully people and take people oil and resources and their land and make their country poor and make their people speak your language. And then when they have to run over here for a better life, and you invite them over here because you know, hey, these people they know how to do this type of work and they do this type of labor, they cook this type of food. So you invite certain people over here to benefit the country, and of course they got their own culture and language, and we supposed to be a diverse nation, but you outraged because the Spanish people get a Super Bowl. The white people for years got their performance. Us black people got acts that we love at the Super Bowl. The Spanish people can't get it. And like I said, yes, when Kendrick Lamar and other black people performing at the Super Bowl, there was racist comments. People came out saying, "Oh, you know, this hip hop stuff, we started saying this." Nobody said that when they was playing rock and roll in the country at the halftime show. So I just don't get it. It's like y'all yourself are immigrants. Y'all not from this land. Y'all stole this land. Y'all brought different people to build up this land. And now y'all act like y'all just want this to be white land. But y'all came over here to a land that wasn't y'all ancestors did that. And forgive me if I sound like a broken record, but I really want to beat this point in. The people that was here on this land are still here, and the immigrants that came in this place did not just look brown and black. They was British. They was Italian. They was so-called white people. Matter of fact, she's on the show with a white British. She's not mad that he's here. That he's speaking a British accent. This is just fake outrage and this nonsense that sadly we have to deal with in a world full of wicked and evil people. We can't just appreciate one another, respect one another, give each other a time to shine, even if you understand it or not, even if you appreciate it or not. As long as you don't harm me, yeah, be proud of who you are. These are the same people that say, uh, we just want to be proud white. You know, they don't want us to be. We can't say that we proud and to be white. No, be proud to be right. But can the Latinos still be proud to be Latinos and proud of their culture and their language, even though they in America? Can they wave their flag? It's crazy how the hypocritical because when the Dickie flag was waved, many people saying, "Oh, that's just mean the South." It's not no racist thing. It just mean the South and what the South mean. And a lot of people, black people's like, "Okay, I don't like it." Well, okay, if that's what it means for you, then and I growing up seeing that flag all over. They had shirts for that flag. Matter of fact, they wouldn't let us wear shirts like Tupac and Biggie, but they will let them wear the Dickie flag shirts to school. And they had a reason. I think like my little shirt had Tupac, and it was like he blowing smoke out his mouth. So they're like, "Oh, you can't wear that shirt because it got drugs on it." Man, but he was just blowing the smoke out his mouth. So if you had a shirt of a black face with somebody with a gun or a cigarette or anything that looked like or a drink or anything, they'll say you couldn't wear it. And they was cracking down hard, but They didn't say nothing there about the Dickie shirts. But these same people that come over here and wave their flag and say, hey, this flag just represent my people, my country, where I come from, my roots. They say, no, you over here, so now you gotta wave the American flag. It's disrespectful for you to wave your flag and still love your people. No, once you're over here, you can't love your people. You can't love where you come from. If you love them, go back. If you love Mexico so much and want to wave the flag, then don't come over here. When most of them wave the Mexican flag and the white flag, because they proud to be both. They proud to be descendants from their country, but you know what I'm saying? So when I listen to arguments, I try to be sensitive and understanding. But when you say one thing and do another, like they say, well, this flag don't mean this. The Dickie flag, the down south, uh, we call it the Dickie flag, but then they call it the Confederate flag. Most of the time, when you see somebody with that Confederate flag, check how they treat you. Check their, who they are as a person. A lot of times they are racist, and they do racist things. And that's the main thing when you see that flag, especially in the South, you already know what type of people you're dealing with. A lot of times in the South, when you see that flag, blacks wasn't wanted there. They didn't even have to have a note there. But now they want to, move the goalposts, trying to change it. No, that's just me proud to be from the South. Our ancestors died in the war, so we just waving this flag for our ancestors died in the war. Like, okay, okay, cool, but if that's the case, then why your attitude don't match it? Why, when the Ku Klux Klan came, they had that flag? Why every time, there's some crazy white boy that they say got mental illness that want to shoot up this black people, have that flag? Okay, okay, but I guess we supposed to believe what you say and not what you do, right? Forgive me for pointing out the hypocritical, because these same people will say you shouldn't wear this, they shouldn't have this flag, or they shouldn't do this. Like, well, the South lost. The flag is the American flag now. So if you wave a Confederate flag, do that mean that you're not America? You're not what they call it, a patriot? Is that what you're saying? Because you're saying the same thing for people that raise their country flag, that represent their inheritance. They people that fought, and you know what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, it's like, are y'all really so mad about this? Y'all can be, a lot of things can be going on, and let y'all mad about a Super Bowl halftime performance or somebody rapping in Spanish that you didn't even understand. And they talk about the NFL may be in trouble. He said something that he shouldn't say, and if he was speaking English, he wouldn't got away with it because he was speaking Spanish. He probably said some things, and they really trying to blow this up and make a big deal. And trust me, they gonna have their minions out there. It's gonna be like, yeah, this America, keep it America. But America is a melting pot for the different culture and different people. That's what made America so great. That's what made other countries look at America and want to come to America. That's what made America point at other countries and say, hey, they're not like us. We accept everybody. We friendly and everybody free over here. The American dream, because when you wake up, you find out it was a dream. Well, that's all I say. This country is dripped in blood. It's dripped in hypocrites. It's dripped in lies. It's dripped in deception. I made a video. I'm gonna tag it in where why I say I don't consider myself America. Why I don't call myself that. A lot of black people think that, oh, if I call myself American, then I'm holding on to what my ancestors built. What my ancestors built on this land, on this country that we know as America. is not wrapped up in the name America. It's wrapped up in what they did and who they are. And I can be hella proud, and I am hella proud of what my ancestors went through and what they done and how they built this country up. Two things can be true. I can be proud of that and still not consider myself American. But at the end of the day, man, pick a side. Are you on the Most High side or are you on the world side? Because this is what many people in the world are mad about. And it's a distraction. It's a distraction. It's to steal your energy. It's to conquer and divide. But the scripture says the world is full of wicked. That this world belongs to Satan. And those we gonna allow for him to influence them, those who gonna continue to be a part of this world and lead off hate and jealousy and their flesh and look more at our difference instead of our what's the word I'm looking for? Our commonality. I look more for our differences than what we have in common, because we got a lot in common. The way our body is, a lot of times the way we think and feel. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay to acknowledge that you're different. It's okay to love your people. It's okay to love who you are. But let other people be them and acknowledge who they are. As long as they don't disrespect you and your people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we coexist, when you respect and love each other and let everybody else have their time to shine. And if you love it, great. If you don't love it, keep it moving. Because guess what? There's going to be plenty more, if the Most High will, plenty more Super Bowl performance. And just as there have been plenty white acts, there's going to be more white acts. Why? Because this is America. But before I close out, I ask, do y'all want this to be America? Or do y'all want this to be white people land only? Make up your mind, because what America supposed to be is and stand for is not who these people want America to be. And if you want just a white land, then go back to English. Yeah, I'm with you. Kick all the immigrants out that's not from there. But you go back to your place and take all the army bases out of Africa. Start taking the resource, whatever's in India, in Europe, on that land, y'all live off of it. And whatever's in Africa, and get this land back to Native Americans and so-called black people here that was before the copper colored Indians. And if y'all want to trade, and we can trade, if y'all want to trade food and come and party, but let's just stay in our own land. That don't sound too bad. I think the Most High know what's best, because in the beginning, the Most High said He separated and divided everybody their own land, their own place. But we decide to move around and mix and mingle and say it's just love and this is how it's supposed to be. And we go against the Most High, and we see what it is. This is what happened when you go against the natural order of things. It's just natural for people to want to be around their own kind. But when you mature enough and you got the spirit of the Most High in you, you don't mind being around other people and allowing for other people to be themselves. But as always, let Yah be true and every man a lie. Till next time, Shalom.